Hello everyone. I'm in Dallas, Texas, and where I have met this amazing young man from Pakistan, Ahmad Shabbar, who is the president of the Pakistan Students Association at University of North Texas. And after hearing his story, I was quite intrigued that Ahmad is a trained physicist from Reed College in Portland, Oregon. But he's doing a second degree here in Texas in a totally different line. Not totally, but quite different, right?
Yeah.
Mainly because as a physicist trained in nuclear physics at a reactor on the spot, he cannot get a job. And I was quite intrigued. And his story I would like to actually share with all of you. And so, Shabar, tell me, you tried to get a job in Pakistan. What happened?
I contacted the concerned parties, and they basically told me that you've trained in America, so we're not sure that we trust you. And then they also said that because you've trained in America, you won't like the environment.
So you're a security risk.
Apparently so, yes.
Just by being trained in America.
Exactly.
Are you an American citizen?
No, I'm not a citizen.
What passport do you hold?
Pakistani.
Right, and you proud of it?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Okay, well, we know that, nukes and all of that fear is there. So you then obviously came back and you must have tried to find a job here in America?
Yes, I actually looked for a job in America first before going to Pakistan.
Okay.
And I contacted a few other reactors in hard nuclear physics. And they told me that the Department of Energy has issued a list of countries that we're not allowed to hire from. They actually had an hour and a half long conversation with me before, and then I told them that I was an international student. Then they asked me, which country are you from? I told them I was from Pakistan. And that's when they actually told me that there's a list of countries.
So you're blacklisted?
Yes, I guess.
Okay. Well, that's pretty dire. So Pakistan out, you're a security risk. America, you're a security risk just by being the fact that you are a Pakistani trained in America, vice versa. So did you try anywhere else?
I did, yes. I tried in the United Arab Emirates as well.
Okay. A job as a nuclear physicist?
As radiation safety officer.
Okay.
I applied at a university at Sharjah, radiation safety officer. I was supposed to take care of their nuclear engineering department and say their radiology department, medical school and everything as well. And I did get a job over there. I was actually hired ahead of 2 masters in nuclear engineering, even though I just have a bachelor's in physics. Because I had 4 years hands-on experience at a nuclear reactor. It's a private nuclear reactor at Reed College. But then 2 weeks before I was supposed to start working over there, I had all my medicals done, everything paper sorted out. I get an email saying that your security clearance has been rejected.
Wow. And why?
The email did not actually list it, but then I went and spoke with the employer, who had employed me, and they in their conversation suggested that it's because I've trained in America, I'm Pakistani, and from the name and everything, I guess it turns out that I was probably the wrong kind of Muslim as well.
Why?
Because I have Shia background.
Okay.
I have a mixed family, but I have a Shia background, and at that point in time, they were...
So you had to fill in the form, on the forms you had to fill in your sect?
Yes, in UAE, you have to mention your sect as well.
Wow.
Other than religion.
So there was a triple problem here.
Yes.
Pakistani, trained in America, and a Shia.
Yeah.
Oops. Wow. So what are you going to do now?
At the same time, I guess I'm glad that I applied at a different university, in a completely different, well, not a completely different field, but for mechanical engineering. So I'm doing a second bachelor's in mechanical engineering now.
Wow, you just had to divert from nuclear physics,
yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
But you were trained at a reactor here.
Yeah.
You mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
How did that happen? Were there any problems?
No, for that reactor there weren't any problems.
Where was this, by the way?
This was at Reed College.
In Oregon,
in
Portland.
Portland, Oregon.
Okay.
They have their own private nuclear reactor. It's a research reactor. So I went to the director the very first day. I was in Portland, and I asked him. I was like, "Hey, I'm from Pakistan and I'm Muslim. Would you train me?" And he was like, "It's perfectly all right." Then,
This was after 9/11.
This was in 2008.
Okay.
Actually. And then I was licensed as a...
Did you take a name card saying, "Hi, I'm Shabbar, I'm not a terrorist"?
Oh, no, I did not.
Okay.
No, but then I did have to go through FBI clearance and all sorts of clearances, like every other
That's
American.
the usual norm,
Yeah. So I was licensed by the Nuclear Regulatory Commission as reactor operative, then as senior reactor operative. So I'm guessing because I started working at the age of 18 at a nuclear reactor, I'm probably the youngest Pakistani to work at a nuclear reactor.
Wow, that's amazing.
But then the problem came when I tried applying to commercial reactors. So those are bigger and those are more, there's a lot more security loopholes. So I think that's probably...
Right. So, but what is this passion with nuclear physics? I'm a pacifist. I'm not into nukes, okay?
Yeah.
I oppose them in principle. But I'm always intrigued by what excites young men like you to study nuclear physics.
It's the
I guess
science.
It's the theoretical part.
Yeah, it's the theoretical part. It's the science. It's not so much the weapons and everything itself. I'm against that too, because that's actually deadly. That actually causes damage. But as a source of energy, nuclear power is really great. And then also as a scientific tool, it's actually pretty cool as well. You can do a lot of science.
Energy?
Energy is different. Science is different. Science is something like neutron activation analysis. You can tell what things are made up of. So that's really...
So what's the potential for nuclear energy? You think if Pakistan, we hear all of this, that when we actually carried out the nuclear blasts in 1998, so we said that we are going to produce lots of nuclear energy, etc. But not really much has happened. Load shedding. There are frequent power breakdowns, even when I was there. So can we actually produce a lot of energy from that?
Yes, of course. Nuclear energy, I think, is much better than other forms of energy that we have right now, coal and other forms, thermal.
Yeah.
But of course, it's not as good as solar and wind can potentially be as clean as that, but it's still better. There are freak accidents like Fukushima, but that was because of the tsunami and everything that came at the same time. And even over there, more people died because of mismanagement than because of nuclear radiation. In a place like Pakistan, though, I believe that it might be a bit tougher to contain, if any accident like Fukushima happens, God forbid. Yeah. But if handled responsibly, if handled well, then that's a really great source. Right.
Well, Shabbar, best of luck. I really hope that your second degree leads you to a job. Inshallah, it will. But surely, the purpose of talking to Shabbar was to basically demonstrate that what sort of a world we are living in. Here is a young, bright guy who has worked in a nuclear reactor, but he cannot find a job for all sorts of odd political profiling reasons. He's a Muslim, he's a Shia, he's trained in America, so all three sides, Sunni Islam is kind of, insecure. I guess. And of course, Pakistanis are insecure, and of course, Americans are not too secure about hiring a Muslim Pakistani. So it is rather crazy, and very few Pakistanis like Shabbar get the opportunities like this, to come to the US or anywhere else in the world to find their passion, to pursue a degree, and yet they face all these odds. So I really we don't have solutions to this syndrome, but all I can say is that we don't want this to happen. This must stop, and someone needs to do something. So I guess thank you so much, Shabbar.
Of course.
And for all the hospitality in Texas.
Thank you.
Bye.